What actions I plan on taking as a result of the knowledge I gained from this course? This course has really been helpful to me with me reevaluating myself as a technology teacher. I think I stated that a lot in my journals. I didn't think that I knew everything, but I knew a whole lot. And as an educator, I've been doing this for 11 years. I thought that I was on top of me as my teaching went and evaluate myself as a lesson that I incorporate into my classroom. However, in this course, I must state that based off of a lot of the readings and the case studies that I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I was only touching the surface. Whether it been that I wasn't using as the resources that were given to me, or I wasn't really making sound decisions as to making sure that my students were receiving the best learning that I can possibly give to them. I need to refocus on how I can utilize my lessons to enhance their learning better than what I've been doing. I have a lot of different applications that I utilize in class. However, I'm just touching the surface and not digging deeper as I should, with making sure that the children actually have a sound foundation with understanding why these applications are useful, how they can enhance their future, how they can be utilized in the future, and pretty much giving them a step-by-step, because I'm under by the process of why these applications are being used, instead of just delivering it to them, actually letting them know why I chose to use these applications in a lesson. I think that teachers are more fearful of using technology because we don't have the knowledge base ourselves on how to actually use the actual technology. We only know things from the surface. We're very novice, we're beginners, and we're very fearful that we'll be judged by our students, that we don't know the content just based on us providing them with this particular new learning. So therefore, I think that when I started to read more about School of the Future, and they do on project-based learning, and listen to the different videos that were uploaded with the teachers, I realized that I wasn't doing self-evaluation myself on did I truly understand what I wanted them to understand. Because if I can't understand it, how do I expect for my students to actually grasp the concept and know that this will be helpful to them later on in their life? So I really want to take the step to move into project-based learning. I actually touched the surface with it this year, but I didn't go really in depth with it because, again, the fear was there. So what I tried to do was with this course, use a lot of the reading to start to reevaluate my teaching. Even with me being a technology teacher, there were many things out there that I didn't know that I used to flag to help myself in the future. For example, my journal entry that I did on cyberbullying, which is a huge topic we know that is driving right now with children in the age range that I teach, which is middle school. So when I actually did the actual outline, I really took the time to do it. And I was like, I can really use it in class, which I intend to use it in class, because I took the time out and I try to focus on things that were fixed on touching them as young learners. So I try to make sure that anything that I wanted them to learn, it was specific to their age group. So I think that this course allowed me to reevaluate myself as an educator. So those will be some of the actions that I'm going to incorporate as I move forward. What will be my prediction? What will be the upside and downsides to it? One of the upsides, I think, will be that, again, when it comes time for me to submit my SLO, that I will have sound data to provide to my administration with the project-based learning. I can clearly target the students that grasp concepts and why they why they grasp those concepts. I can also integrate this into other content areas. I'm also the tech liaison for the school, so this will be extremely helpful. The readings, the different resources, even the cases that I could show to other content areas and assist them with in providing more technology integration into their classrooms. In my school, the librarian is in charge of providing free resources and helping teachers with how they can enhance lessons with integrating technology. We have a wonderful stat teacher, but we all know that we're stretched thin with duties and sometimes things are overlooked. Professional development, art, and money and time is not always there uh, as a schoolhouse to provide that to all teachers. So with just my small bit of knowledge base that I can share with my PLC, that we can move our school forward with showing them how they and why they need to integrate technology, but also taking baby steps to give them a sound foundation of how this can be useful. Because initially the backlash will be there because we already stretched them with paperwork, and some teachers really don't feel that this could be useful to their content area. But if they had the resources that was there to show them how it could be useful, and someone taking the time out to actually provide them with resources and whether it be documentation, videos, or such as like different applications that are specifically geared toward their content area, I think the buy-in would be a lot more than what it is now. The downside would be to that time. I think the downside would definitely be time. Time gets away from us. We always think we want to do things, but we don't. Well, at least for myself, I don't sometimes set the goal and the time frame as to when I want to accomplish that goal. So my downside would probably be time. I don't want to say that I would have problems with resources. My school, at one point in time, was a Title I school, so we're not FR Baltimore County, we're not a lighthouse school, so we only have like fixed devices and things, and the teachers have devices. But I'm a computer teacher, and I'm also a tech liaison, so I have all those resources right in my pocket because I'm in charge of them. But I need to utilize them more. So the downside would be that I want to make use of it, but I actually don't because time gets away from me, whether it be just daily tasks that I have to do for my schoolhouse, or when I fall short on trying to provide the children with um, different lessons where I'm using an application and it doesn't work out well. We all know technology has glitches, and I just trash it because I feel like this is not being productive. Instead of revisit it and go back and make sure that find ways to fix it, I'm just giving up. So that will probably be the downside with it. I do believe that I will have the support of my administration. My administration is very open to technology. Some of them are not as technologically savvy as myself, but based off of my PLC, who is actually ran by the stat teacher, I think that if I am able to deliver this information to them, and again getting them to buy in, there wouldn't be that much of a downside. Um, how is that my perspective on the use of technology change? I don't think my perspective has changed. I think I have a better understanding now of why teachers choose not to incorporate technology. After doing a couple of readings, I realized that this will be extremely beneficial to our students. We are moving into that digital age. Um, Kids drive off of that. Many different resources or things that I have incorporated in my class, such as code.org or GameStar Mechanics or Legos or things like that. Our kids literally, or my students actually, like feed off of it. It's like light bulbs go off, their eyes glisten as if it was like Christmas time, because that is the type of students that we are teaching now. We need to meet them where they are, and sometimes when you've been an educator for so long, you're so fixed on your learning style that you choose not to meet them. You want them to meet you, but we have to start to meet them. Even if that means that we have to change our learning style or make different or move around how we're going to deliver content to meet them and take us out of our comfort zone and make us a little bit uncomfortable to become comfortable. I think that's extremely important. So now that I see that there's others out there who are in the struggle and who are willing to work through it, I can be an advocate for them and kind of be the front man to help them and guide them along with. You can do this whether you're a gym teacher or social studies teacher, music teacher. This can be useful and helpful to your curriculum the same way it's helpful to mine. Even when we were writing our SLOs, I noticed that as special areas teachers, we say, well, we can't incorporate reading. How can we do that? But just by going through some of the resources that was available to this course and digging a little deeper, I realized like, oh, we can incorporate it. There are things that I've learned. I've started attending more conferences, technology conferences, which, to be honest with you, I have not done in the past. But again, this is me trying to reevaluate myself and to better myself as being a technology teacher. What issues or problems or dilemmas still concern me? I would definitely say some of the issues or problems will be just the amount of technology in the schoolhouse. My lab is probably the best lab in the school, and we have 3 of them. 2 of the labs have older devices. They were bought with the prior administration, which has been over 5 years ago. Some of them are like 9 to 10 years old, and we have not received new equipment other than the tablets that we're using now with Baltimore County. But those are teacher-based, so we haven't received them as far. We have cards for students, but it's only 60 cards. When you have a schoolhouse of almost 700 kids, 60 cards is just not going to be useful. If the math teacher and the social study teachers want to use the devices at the same time, and they only have, 3 content areas, and we only have 60 available, well, somebody will not receive it. And you want to make sure that it's provided for all and not just for some. So I believe that that's probably the biggest dilemma. And also having professional development on it, feeling that you're comfortable, that you're supported, and that the district is providing you with ongoing professional development. Not the hour professional development that you receive one time at the end of the school day on a Monday, but providing ongoing professional development, and the resources are there. As a technology teacher, I'm not even attached to digital learning for Baltimore County. I'm attached to the business education department, but not the digital learning department. And we should be. We should be attached to them so that we are almost like a domino effect. We start off with elementary school, and as we move toward middle and high school, we are piggybacking off of what was taught on elementary school level. So we would provide that to them in middle school. Sometimes kids come into the classroom and they know nothing when you're expecting them to know something, because they should have provided that in elementary school, and they're not. So they have not, So I would think that kind of us having like an outline, or us having resources or providing a link to each other would be extremely beneficial. So that is probably one of the biggest problems. We're kind of set out there to just fend for our own when we prefer to have a little bit more support than what we're receiving. What additional knowledge do you need in order to resolve these issues? Right now, I think me being an advocate for myself, along with others in my department, is starting to show higher administration that we want to support. We're advocating for ourselves. We're talking to supervisors. I'm talking to the technology supervisor. I even mentioned to him that let's start a focus group, which would be a wonderful way of getting teachers to voice their opinions in different schoolhouses. Doesn't have to be, at the head of the district, but in small schoolhouses, and trying to get us to be more committed as small communities so that we can support each other individually. I think that would be extremely important. I don't really have as many issues as some because, like I stated, I am a technology teacher, but that doesn't mean that I can't evaluate myself and know that I have faults just like the next educator. I am driven to providing my students with what they need for the future. I am that driven educator. So if it requires me to self-evaluate myself, to dig deeper, to sit up some days after school, to maybe do backwards mapping with a lesson, or making sure that my lesson is maybe on a daily basis as thorough as if I was given a formal observation lesson. That's what I have to do. I do believe the end result would be that one, I'm absorbing more knowledge. I have more um, knowledge to deliver to my colleagues, and I have a sound foundation and more experience to deliver to my students. So that will probably be what I have received from this course, reevaluating myself and understanding that I didn't know it all as much as I thought, and that there were others out there who also know that this could be extremely important, but important to the extent that it it's the it's not at the forefront, but can be extremely helpful, and why we should provide students with more technology integration. Doesn't mean that we always need it. It's not going to be for every lesson, but it definitely should be for some. We need to meet our students in order for us to be successful as 21st century teachers, and our students to be successful